The funding for this video is provided by the amazing members of my Patreon. Also contributions from viewers like you. Thank you. Yeah, I started from PBS Kids. What you gonna do? Fight me? Anyway, roll the video. I am someone that people would consider not to be a real anime fan. I have not seen the big three, nor do I care to watch them. I don't even really care too much for battle shonen in general. I'm very critical of Aizawa and her work such as Nana, Paradise Kiss, and Neighborhood Story, saying the things that a lot of people refuse to speak out loud. A lot of my favorite manga series are either no longer in print or they're on indefinite hiatus and we have no idea what is up with them. Because of all of this, I would not be considered to be a real anime fan. And why is that? It has so much to do with the fact that a lot of anime fans and just the anime community and just fandom in general lack personal taste. What exactly do I mean by all this? Hey y'all, it's Harriana and I'm back with another video. Hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana. Welcome back to the pirate ship, also known as Harry Hood's pirate ship. I'm the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate because you want to know why. Bring your ear closer to the speaker so you can hear me clearly. No one's worthy of being the first mate. But hi, hello, how are you doing? My name is Harriana and I like to make content based on nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces. I have been an anime fan since I was in elementary school. Even though I have been really into anime since I was young, a lot of people would consider me not to technically be a real anime fan because of my personal taste with this medium. And I want to elaborate a little bit on that, how anime fans lack a personal taste. Like, they really do. And what inspired me to make this video, according to Alina, she makes book content type videos and I am a reader. I be reading a lot of books. People don't really know that about me. Not only do I read mangas, I do read novels and nonfiction and all that jazz. She talked about how there is a lack of individuality when it comes to the book community and the books that people choose to read. I will have a link to her video down below if you guys are interested in that. And before I go any further, I don't want this video to come off as me being a bit condescending or talking it down to people, especially because, like I said, a lot of people in fandom have very binary thinking. They have this black and white type of thinking going on. And no, I think we should have a discussion about how FOMO and individuality are two things that are very concerning within this space, and not just with online fandom but also in real life fandom spaces such as cosplay meetups and conventions. Before we get started, I do want to promote my books. For those of you guys who don't know, me and my good friend Amaya Janelle, we self-published 2 essay collections. The first one is called Do Not Call Me Sis. It is a collection of essays about fandom, misogyny, ableism, entertainment, and white feminism. We had recently published the second part of this essay collection called You Still Cannot Call Me Sis. The back of it says, yes, we still always do have something to say. We talk a lot about Western cartoons, we talk about anime, we talk about ableism, we talk a lot about representation, we talk about Tyler Perry, we talk about Sam Levinson. There's a good variety of things packed up in these 2 books, and you guys are interested, the link to those books will be down below. They can be purchased on my website, harrianahook.com. You can either get the digital copy or the physical copy. The audio book is not available yet for You Still Cannot Call Me Sis, but it is available for Do Not Call Me Sis. Alright, let's get back into today's video. So when it comes to the subject of personal taste, a lot of people have been discussing it because there has been this entire discussion about how a lot of New York influencers are boring. And what exactly people meant by that is that they all feel like the same person. They go to the same events, they eat the same foods, they drink the same matcha lattes, they wear the same things, they have the same purse charms on their bags. Like, they all feel like carbon copies of each other. And because of that, they all feel feel a bit boring. And according to Alina, in their video, they were talking about how this isn't too much different when it comes to the book community, because a lot of people are reading the same shit. And that's part of the reason why I started to get irritated when it comes to book recommendations, because I've noticed a lot of people have been recommending the same things over and over and over again. And I'm like, you know what? I'm about to just start going on my own and start looking for my own stuff to read. And because of social media, for the most part, people have always had a difficult time thinking for themselves. Like when you look back at history and you look at the trends of fashion and hairstyles and all of that jazz, you always see what was trending at the time. And there's nothing wrong with doing a trend. Like there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. If you like it, you like it. Do it, do it. It ain't that damn deep. Do what you want. You're free to do what you want. But we were talking about how it seems to have gotten a bit worse with the rise of social media, especially TikTok, especially within the last 5 years. We keep telling y'all that COVID has done a number on people. The pandemic has done a number on people. And a lot of this lack of personal taste really feels as though people don't allow stuff to stick. It's like if people will heavily obsess over one thing, and then once that thing doesn't seem popular anymore, they'll move on to the next. And I noticed that a lot of this comes from cosplay just as well. For those of you guys who don't know, I am a cosplayer. I'm not in costume today. I don't even have my little face jewels and all that stuff on today. My cosplay hair is still in because I'm not taking this out. It took me like 6 hours to do it. It's Maki's and cosplay hair, by the way. But what made me really think about how like the lack of individuality in fandom spaces is getting significantly worse, because I have been seeing this trend online called cosplaying characters there are no demand for. And what people mean no demand for is like basically nobody is really paying attention to this one particular character or this one particular series. And a lot of people took what I said negatively about where I was talking about how I wish people would be a bit more individual when it comes to the type of costumes that they choose to wear and all of that. And that mainly was me just talking about how you liking a character should be enough for you wanting to cosplay that character. It doesn't matter if they're from a popular series or a series that was popular years ago or a series that never was popular. If you want to cosplay that one particular character regardless of popularity, you should be free to do that. Because as I had talked about how I was a big fan of Sugar Sugar Room growing up, and I have been rereading the manga and I still pretty much enjoy it. I had recently cosplayed Vanilla for a shoujo mini-con that I was doing the cosplay coordination for. A lot of people didn't recognize the costume. There were a few that did recognize it. A lot of people thought I was cosplaying Pomperin. But just because a lot of people weren't recognizing my costume, that didn't stop me from wanting to wear what I want to wear. I have cosplayed super duper popular characters like Nanami from Jujutsu Kaisen, but then I will cosplay a character that barely anybody knows of, let alone remember, Vanilla from Sugar Sugar Room. It really shouldn't matter what someone chooses to cosplay regardless of popularity, but a lot of people feel as though other people's opinions on what they choose to wear matters. Just how like you look at the most popular bookstagrammers, you look at the most popular book creators. I even say this with manga creators. They all technically want to read all the super duper popular series and don't bring much attention to series that aren't that big. That is why I really love Girl Taku, the blog. I will have the link to their series down below, and I'll also have the link to their website down below that has their blog, because they are always constantly recommending different things. They talk about things that are popular like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen, but then they also recommend things that are lesser known because they want people to explore their taste when it comes to anime and manga. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I feel like there is a good balance over there. And when it comes to taste in anime, it's as if a lot of people in this space would consider you not to be a real fan if you don't like certain series or you're not necessarily into certain things. People tend to forget that there is an entire world outside of battle shonen, and I'd say even Sailor Moon. Because when it comes to Sailor Moon, people act as if that's like the only shoujo that exists, and it isn't. And it, let alone, is not the only magical girl series that exists. If you like Sailor Moon, there are a plethora of other series that you could check out that you'll probably enjoy. They may not be as popular as Sailor Moon, but they're similar in vibes. And like, Sailor Moon is popular for a reason. It's the blueprint. But it's okay to check out other series that may be similar to that, because they may end up doing something else that that one series didn't do all that well. Even when it comes to just trending anime, there are series that have ended for years, but they're still super duper popular, like Death Note. Y'all know I am a big fan of Death Note. And because of that, I have constantly been wanting to find other crime type series to check out because of how much I enjoyed that one. And are they as popular as Death Note? No. Do people in anime fandom talk about them a lot? Absolutely fucking not. I tell you, in 2025, nobody is checking for gangsta but me. Me and probably 10 other people. But that's not going to take away my love for the show because it's not something that's super duper trending. I feel like individuality gets kind of lost within just fandom spaces in this day and age because a lot of people want to fit in. A lot of people crave community, and this is a topic that a lot of people have been talking about nowadays. And it feels as though a lot of people tend to force themselves to like certain series because they see that that is like the big thing to do. That is the popular thing to do within these spaces. Because I'm somebody that does love Jujutsu Kaisen, but there are plenty of other people who were talking about how they tried to get into the series and they just couldn't. And that's okay. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and get mad at somebody for simply saying that they don't really like JJK all that much because that's just their personal taste. I feel like a lot of people forget that we are humans and humans are not one size fit all. We're not all going to have the same interests. And we're all not going to like the same things. Anybody that knows me recently, I have been talking about how I can't get into JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and that's okay. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is not going to lose popularity because one person says they're not interested in the series. I promise you, One Piece is not going to go out of print because there are a few people who don't give a flying fuck about watching the series or reading the manga. Naruto has ended long time ago. Somebody not wanting to watch a series that's never going to stop being popular is not going to affect you personally. I feel like we live in a day and age where a lot of people tend to take you not liking something as if it's a personal attack on them because a lot of people tend to attach themselves to individual series. And I feel like if you're constantly trying to do everything that everyone is trying to do, I feel as though you can lose a sense of who you are and lose a sense of yourself. I remember I did go through a phase where I was trying to get into a lot of popular shonen series, but I came out in the conclusion realizing that I wasn't feeling too much for any of them. But then when I went out and actually looked for anime and manga that had my personal taste, the things that I like to look at in art, unfortunately, a lot of those things aren't popular, or they're semi-popular, I'd say. Because there is one series that I really enjoyed that I stumbled upon in adulthood in my early 20s called Black Lagoon. And I read the manga and I finally watched the anime and I loved it. But Black Lagoon is something that people ain't necessarily checking for too much. Did Black Lagoon being kind of like a thing from the past a little bit stop me from wanting to care about the series? Absolutely not. Everybody knows that Gangsta is my favorite anime, but I didn't watch Gangsta or read the manga until I was in my 20s, even though Gangsta came out when I was a teenager. I got into Gangsta long after it was super duper popular, but because I just genuinely like the series, it is something that I truly do appreciate. And things like this are why I can understand why a lot of people wait for hype to die down over a series before they go and watch it themselves, because they don't want the public opinion to influence them for it. Because I'll be honest, I did kind of wait a little bit after the hype of JJK died down before I gave it a chance, and I really did enjoy it. They're doing this because it's what makes them money, this and that and the third. I will say that people still do appreciate individuality. People still do appreciate individuality. There are tons of creators out here that simply get a following because people know that they're going to do something different than the norm. You never know. It's okay to step outside of your box. Because when I did do my Vanilla from Sugar Sugar Room cosplay, there were people in the comments talking about how they really did appreciate that I did this one costume because they rarely ever see anybody do anything for it. And they were just happy to see that somebody still appreciates Sugar Sugar Room in the 2020s, because the Sugar Sugar Room was a 2000s thing. And it hasn't really been a thing since the 2000s, like other popular shoujo series, because Sugar Sugar Room was popular at its time, but now it's kind of a bit forgotten. This is just something that I just wanted to bring up because I noticed that when it comes to individuality and fandom spaces, they're pulling further apart. They're going further and further apart, because I constantly see things where people talking about this fandom is dead, this fandom is live, we're all gonna move from this dead fandom and come over here. But I'm just like, are you going to this new fandom because it's popular, but are you going because you genuinely enjoy it. Are you cosplaying this one character because they're super duper popular, or are you cosplaying them because you simply want to? At the end of the day, it is up to you to do what you want to do. If you want to do something because it is super popular, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and try out that trend. But if you're also doing something simply because you want to, regardless of popularity, you're free to do that just as well. At the end of the day, it is not my place to tell people what to do. And I know a lot of people kind of think that I be trying to tell people what to do in my videos, and absolutely not. You are your own person. You are allowed to think for yourself. But when I say think for yourself, don't let the popularity of a series stop you from wanting to engage with it. And even goes for the series that are super duper popular, because I know a lot of people will turn their nose up to something because it's the thing that everybody is speaking about. Like, y'all, just check out things. Check out things that genuinely catch your interest. All right, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are interested in my 2 books, let me grab them. Do not call me sis, and you still cannot call me sis. They will be both available for purchase on my website, harryanahook.com. Have a great day, night, or whatever time of the day you chose to watch this video. I'm just thankful that you watched it with the ads on. Alright, thank you. Goodbye. Now that you see, you should beware of the power of 3. They come to fight as fast as they can. They're dangerous, yet fabulous. The Utonia made them eschew. They are the colors of pink, green, and blue. They'll catch you in the blink of an eye and do it all before bedtime. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they're shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. Will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before